For those not in the know, it's probably worth mentioning that both of the original Jurassic Park novels, Jurassic Park and The Lost World, actually lean way more into the horror elements of Jurassic Park than the movies do. The movies have their scary moments, but the novels are on a whole nother level in this regard. And there's one particular creature, or concept, that Michael Crichton put into The Lost World specifically, that is way more horrifying than most. It has to do with his interpretation of Carnotaurus, a genus of theropod dinosaur that originally lived in South America during the late Cretaceous period. These animals wouldn't actually appear in the Lost World movie at all, and we wouldn't see them in the film canon until Fallen Kingdom, though they did appear in a handful of video games. Regardless, Carnotaurus is a pretty distinctive theropod, being incredibly skinny, with seemingly completely useless arms, and two thick horns above its eyes. Carnotaurus was a highly specialized genus, likely built to be incredibly fast. But Crichton decided not to lean into the speed element of these animals, and give them a legitimately scary ability when it came to the Lost World. They appear technically twice in the book, though the first time you aren't sure what they are. Towards the end of the book, it's revealed that there are a pair of Carnotaurus on the island, and they have the ability to camouflage. Now, camouflage in nature is nothing unheard of, but what the Carnotaurus have is active camouflage. Namely, they can change their appearance to better blend into whatever the background may be. This type of ability and behavior is seen in several groups of animals, particularly cephalopod mollusks, flatfish, and some reptiles. They do this by manipulating their chromatophores, cells that produce color, and translocate the pigment and reorient specialized reflective plates within the chromatophores, in some instances blending in nearly perfectly with the background. It's a very good survival element, and it can be used offensively to blend in and ambush their prey, which is exactly what the Carnotauruses do. The Lost World version of the Carnotauruses do not utilize tremendous speed by running really fast and chasing down their prey. On the contrary, they stand perfectly still and wait for their prey to get close enough for them to grab them. Because the camouflage is just that good. If you're not really paying attention, you can't tell they're there at all. And this idea of a particularly large theropod, a dinosaur, a carnivorous dinosaur, being nearly invisible is pretty friggin' scary. And because it's largely based on science, involving the chromatophores, and a pre-existing ability that many creatures do have, it's not outside the realm of possibility that a large theropod, or any other kind of dinosaur, could do this. The ability appears in reptiles, though we aren't sure how far back the ability would have evolved. I mean, reptiles are very old, and sea life do it too, and life started in the oceans. So the notion that dinosaurs, a handful of them, might have had the ability to change their coloration isn't an unreasonable suggestion. This ability is so unique to the Carnotauruses on Isla Sorna that other large predators avoid the area that they inhabit, particularly at night. It's revealed that the raptors and the T-Rexes do not stay in the worker village, and flat out won't go there during the night. Because of the Carnotauruses. They are so scary that the raptors and the rexes are like, no, we're not dealing with this, because they can't see them. Now, the way the main characters get around this is by using flashlights, because it's revealed that the Carnotauruses can't change their color in an instant. There's a delay. So if you change the illumination and alter the shade, it takes a bit of time for them to reorient themselves and be effectively invisible again. It bothers them, and it helps keep them away. But if you didn't have some kind of flashlight or a torch, you would not be in a good situation, because you'd be being hunted by an animal that is effectively invisible, standing there, waiting patiently, very patiently, for you to make a mistake. And then, before you know it, you're dinner. because they're predators, carnivores. As far as they're concerned, you're meat. Delicious meat. But the real question is, did the historical, actual Carnotauruses have this ability? Could they have had stealth? And, well, I guess they could have, but based on what we know about the actual animal, I doubt it. I say this because of their specialized nature. This is clearly a fast-paced, run-and-attack sort of predator, not a stealthy ambush predator. Meaning that, in all actuality, I don't think real-life, historical Carnotauruses would have utilized such an ability for camo at all. Granted, this does open the door for other dinosaurs to have had it. It doesn't have to be Carnotauruses. One of the big theories about the Rex, especially back in the 90s, is that they were ambush predators and solitary hunters. Could it be that the Rex had the ability to manipulate its chromatophores? And if so, that's good. That's wonderful. In before the next paleontological study comes out and says, okay, the Rexes were actually the smartest dinosaurs ever, smarter than people, and they were invisible. Also, they could go Super Saiyan 3. In the meantime, the Spinosaurus, it didn't even have any legs at all. Yep, that's something we discovered. There's no legs. They were like giant snakes or something. I don't know. We don't care. Because active camouflage likely goes back millions of years in the evolutionary chain, the idea that some kind of dinosaurs could do this isn't outside the realm of possibility at all. It's totally something that they could have done. How prevalent was it? We likely will never know for sure. And also because, in order to prove that they could have done it, you need soft tissue. The fossils can't really tell us that. We need better preserved remains, and those are very hard to come by. But perhaps, one day, you'll build a time machine. Maybe. You don't know. And you'll wind up back in the late Cretaceous. And you'll just be standing there, wondering where all the animals are, because you don't see any. And as you look around, you don't see anything. But in the silence of the prehistoric jungle, you hear an odd sound. A sound very much like breathing. And with that, a special thank you goes out to my apex predators, Arthur Roy, Model for Life Guy, and Auntie Raven. Till next time, this is Darkness, and I bid you all a fond farewell.